Have you ever decided to watch the news, only to switch the channel after a few minutes? Nowadays, it's becoming too depressing to watch the news, since destruction and death have become the normal themes. We hear about melting ice caps, impoverished workers, and the day-to-day stresses of living on our current Earth. But how do we exactly navigate the world we have today? In this book, the author tells us how we can save our planet by living better lives as individuals, by changing our perspective and focusing on our life's purpose. Here are the top 7 lessons from the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Lesson 1. Adapt to survive. Resilience has always been a key trait of Earth's inhabitants. Whenever faced with a radical crisis, we only have 2 choices, to sink or to swim. The author greatly believes that all life started and evolved in the sea, and that land dwellers only came to be because sea creatures decided to survive and adapt on a dry land. They developed lungs instead of gills, and feet instead of fins. And as humans that are faced with so many current challenges, we must also adapt and accept the changes so as to move forward and live in our world. Lesson 2. Welcome curiosity. As humans, we love to think. We sometimes lose the wonders of life because of this. Tolle says that we forget the miracle and greatness of life because of our need to constantly label and know everything. Now, don't get me wrong, the need for knowledge is a good thing. However, if we want to make our lives a little more bearable, then we should learn to be okay with the mysteries of life. If we kept on having the childlike amazement of everyday things, then we could all be more appreciative of life. So the next time we see an ant, instead of thinking of it as just an ant, let's think of it as a cool creature that has extra limbs and super strength abilities. Lesson 3. Detach from materialism. The constant need to get the newest gadget, most expensive handbag, or randiest pair of shoes can also contribute to our stress and anxiety. Think about it. It takes us months to save up for a phone that costs thousands of dollars, only to have a newer model come out again the next year. According to Tolle, our anxious attachment to material things mostly comes from us rooting our happiness on them. We should start reminding ourselves that expensive items do not really add value to ourselves. Whenever we see products being marketed as for the rich and famous, we start wanting them too. Once we accept that we have an attachment and start basing our happiness on other things, then we can live better lives. Lesson 4. Learn to be content. There is a reason why greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. The constant want to have more and more than we can consume may lead the world to shambles. It's a good practice to remember that resources are depleting and limited. Whenever we see ourselves wanting to hoard property, money, and goods, the author reminds us that this will force much of the world to just share what's left. Lesson 5. Let go of that ego. The author says that greed and materialism is deeply rooted in people's egos. This means that just by listening to our egos, we may bring the world to ruin. Now, how can we leave our ego behind? According to Tolle, we should know what strengthens our ego. And in the book, he lists the 6 main things that contribute to our ego, which are 1. Always wanting to be right. 2. Judging others. 3. Anger. 4. Constant complaining. 5. Boasting. And 6. Feeling bad about others' success. When we rid ourselves of these things, we can effectively let go of our egos and contribute to a better world. Lesson 6. Accept what comes. When we constantly try to control our lives, we're mostly met with stress, anxiety, and disappointment. We often plan too much for the future and stress out when things don't go our way. Well, for Tolle, this is where things go wrong. Surely it's good to plan for the future. We should work smart and hard, but it's also vital to learn the art of going with the ebbs and flows of our world. We must learn to accept every moment of life and do what we have to do. Also, remember not to do these begrudgingly, but peacefully. Lesson 7. Give and get. Our Earth is a huge testament of you get what you give. If we constantly contribute to global warming, then that's exactly what we get. If we don't dispose of our garbage carefully, then these just go back to us when floods come in. If we don't respect others, then it's less likely for others to respect us too. So the next time we feel unloved, how about giving a little more love to our families, neighbors, and pets? Most of the time, we take and take from our surroundings. Tolle suggests that we should give what we need to receive. Let me also put emphasis on need, since we tend to want things that do not contribute to our growth as persons. Embodying this thinking will also spur us to treat others in our environment better. In conclusion, this book is packed with tips and tricks on how to effectively and happily navigate our current Earth. It shows us that there's more to life than wanting material things and listening to our own egos. It encourages us to accept life and to focus on its simple joys. By applying the advice given in the book, we can become happier individuals living on a better Earth, and in turn create a better world for others to live in. How about you? How do you intend to live a happy life? Tell me in the comments section. Thank you for listening. If you like the book summary and you want to see more in this category, Please like and subscribe so I can create more. You can also get a free copy of the entire audiobook by clicking the link in the description. Until next time.